teach you how to make this little crochet blouse right for beginners, okay? So it is focused for beginners. It is made through 2 squares. It looks like this. Very cute little tooth and easy to bring, okay? Is it? I'm going to get closer so you can visualize it right here. Look how it turned out. It's up here across 2 squares. You test exactly the same, and she gets this result. I'll turn around here so you can see the back. What does it look like? Look, I didn't do any finishing here, okay? I didn't finish up here, or on the sleeve, or down here on the piece. I didn't do it because the proposal was for beginners, to make it as simple as possible. If you want, you can do bikini or do other base here. If you also want to skip sewing a piece down here, leaving a small part open will also be nice. I even forgot that detail at the time. I could have sewn it from here and left it. I haven't forgotten, but I thought it looked good like this, Larguinha, okay? Look, through 2 squares to make it, I used almost 2 balls of yarn, a verão da Círculo and crochet needle number 4, okay? So let's get to the alpha step by step. So for this blouse, I'm going to use the yarn Verão from Círculo. São balls with 406 meters for crochet needle. He suggests here from 2.5 to 3.5. It is the yarn that 50% cotton and 50% polyester. The color I will use is 3390 quartz color, and I'm going to use the 4mm crochet needle, okay? Let me just take it here. 4mm. I will use 11, slightly larger than suggested here on the label because I have a tension of the very tight point. I did a test with the 3.5 and it was very hard. The work was very heavy. So I put it at 4. I thought it gave it that lightness. It was cuter. So I'm going to use 4. Then you will use needle according to the suggestion on the label. Or if you have a tension of the very tight stitch, as I have, a tip is to always use a needle a little larger than suggested there on the label is, you will need to weave a medical tape, very important to take your measurements. Scissors, some markers, but also if you don't have them, no problem, because these markers will only use to learn. It is the 2 parts, the front part with the back part to make the seam. So if you don't have it, no problem. You can learn with a pin, a thread of another color, anyway, you can find a way to attach without having the marker. Upholstery needle is also optional. Okay? Yeah. I prefer to make my seams with the same needle that I have been weaving the piece. I'll do the sewing. I don't really like sewing, so yeah. I prefer to do everything with a needle than with a crochet needle. So then it's up to you when it comes to sewing, if you want to sew with an upholstery needle or if you want to sew with your own crochet needle, right? Yeah, so the materials these are very simple. Yeah, now I'm going to explain how we're going to take the measurements so we can make the piece. This blouse, it's going to be made in 2 parts. Front and back are exactly the same and very simple. There are no increases or decreases. It is ideal for beginners, so we're going to make it from 2 squares, okay? 2 squares. Let's see if 1 or 2 comes out here. So the 2 squares of the same size will be one to the front and the other to the back. That's all, okay? So I'm going to show you how we're going to take the measurements through here. From this desire to enlarge a little bit because it's kind of small. So we're gonna make her base square. You will need to take measurements for the piece to work. I always take 3 measurements and take the largest of them. I always take the measurement from shoulder to shoulder. I put the measuring tape on the shoulder and I go to the other one and take this measurement. I take the circumference of the bust, okay? So it's shoulder to shoulder, bust and belly circumference. And I take the largest of these 3, its circumferences, and round because I'm going to capture here. I turn around my body and stop here. It's just here that I go straight from shoulder to shoulder. I always take the largest because sometimes the person, they have a larger bust, and take the measurement from shoulder to shoulder. When you're going to sew the blouse, it's going to be really tight here on the bust. And the blouse won't have that nice fit. Or sometimes the person has a slightly larger belly and takes the measurement from the bust or shoulder to shoulder. Then the blouse is tight on the belly, or has a very wide shoulder and smaller here. Then it ends up taking it off here, and here it will be tight. So the ideal is to take these 3 measurements and take the largest of them as always. So in my case, my bust measurement is the largest, and it gave me 100 centimeter, okay? I don't know if 100 centimeter of my circumference will appear here. How am I going to do it in 2 parts? I'll split 50 front and 50 back. So my back, the back part and the front part will be 50 centimeters. It's this square both here and here because the length is also about 50 centimeters. So another measurement you need to take is the length you want to make this piece. So I always put here on top of my shoulder the measuring tape and go down to where I want this blouse to go. I want it to sit right on top of the hip, which will give more or less 50 centimeters too. So my square that I'm going to weave, it's going to have to be 50 centimeters. So here it's going to be 50 centimeters, and here it's going to be 50 centimeters because it's 1 over and 2. It's going to be exactly the same all sides, 50 centimeters. So these are the measurements you need to take the length and width, so you have an idea of the size of the square you are going to weave, right? And then you will choose the color size you want, but that's at the end, at sewing time, okay? You're going to sew, join the 2 parts here by the shoulder. You're going to leave a collar size here. So if you want a more open canoe neckline, if you want more closed, then it's your taste. Then you measure the distance here that you want for this collar. There is another measure too, which is here, on the sleeve. Okay, so the sleeve socket is from the shoulder. You can put the measuring tape here over your shoulder, turn around and stop here. You take the circumference off the sleeve, or you put it here and go up here. You have more or less an idea of the size, right? I'm going to give you suggestions for measurements that normally have no error. When I make my pieces, I put the measuring tape here and take it here. I put 2 little fingers down here of the armpit to have that little slack and not get tight. So I'm going to leave suggestions for you here for measurements of the sleeve hollow. I'm going to write here. It is registered sleeve hollow for size P. I suggest leaving 19 to 20 centimeters. I always leave it to my size. This is ideal, right? I leave from 21 to 22 centimeters. It always gives 2 centimeter difference from each, and for a size G of 23 to 24 centimeter more or less. Okay, that's more or less where you need to make a difference. I usually leave 20. I always leave the largest 22 or 24. It works very well. So this is a suggestion for you that it's time to sew, and then you'll just sew here and leave this space here in centimeters to pass your arm through the limb, okay? So now these are the explanations. So I'm going to teach you how to make the square. The square is pretty simple, okay? The square is that grandma's square that is well known. Very simple to make. So to start, I'm going to make my slider knuckle and here. Regardless of your measurements, regardless of the size you're going to make it exactly the same as I'm doing. It doesn't matter. It's the size. Are you going to do it this way? You will make 4 chains, 1, 23. And 4 here. Instead of making the chains, you can make a magic ring too. It works great. And just because I'm in my proposal for this video is for beginners, I'm going to do it with chains to make it easier, okay? But if you already know how to make the magic ring, you can make the magic ring that will look good too. It'll stay tight. Since I'm making 4 chains, I think it will stay tight too. Yeah, I'm going with a needle in the first chain I made. Oh, I'm going with a needle here, and I'm going to close with a very low point. I'm very short. I'm going to make a circle. I'm going to be very small. This circle lets me just go in with the needle right here. I tighten the stitch. Then I have difficulty inserting the needle there. Inserting the needle, I pull the thread. Oh, and I go inside here. So I closed it. Oh, it was very small. Oh, it was. Let me see if I can show you a little ring here. It's very small. And it's here within this little space that I go for my high points, right? So after I close here, I'm going to make 3 little chains that will be equivalent to a high point, 2 and 3. And I'm going to make more highs here inside this little space that formed here. Oh. From this circle, you can open here, in here. This little beginning is boring, then you will get it. It will be very easy to do. So, I make a loop, come into space here. Oh, and I make a high point. I'm already bringing this wire here to the side. Oh, that I'm going to hide. It's there, so I'll make it here. Oh, a high point. Make another high point here. So I made 3 high points. I'm going to make a chain and I'm going to make another block with 3 high points inside. Okay. In this same space here, I make 3 more high points. 1. Let me get the style here, 2. And 3. Oh, and I'm bringing this thread here to the side, which is for it to be safer, not to fall apart as you use the piece. Or it is for washing. Oh, I made the 3 high stitches. I'm going to make a chain. So I'm going to separate these little blocks by a little chain. If you want, you can make 2 chains too, it will be good. But I don't want the space to be too open, so I'll just make a chain. I'm going to make another block again with 3 high points here inside this same space. Okay? So I do 3 more high stitches, a 2 and a 3. I made the 3 high stitches. I'm going to make another chain. Now what? I'll make another block. There are 4 blocks with 3 high points, 1 high point, high, and 3 high points. I make a chain, which is to separate one block from the other. Now I already have the 4 blocks, 12, 34 blocks with 3 high points here. After I made the chain, oh, I gave this thread a little pull here, then it closed better. Oh, it closed a little more. Now I'm going to close with a very low point. This is my career. I Oh, you can enter the third little chain. Then I will enter here. Oh, this little strap that you have here. Oh, which is the third little chain. I go into it, pull the wire and make a very low point here. I finished my first career, okay? And now I'm going to need to walk this thread to get to the next little space here. Oh, we're always going to work in the chain space, right? So I'm going to walk with this wire. I'm going to enter here. Oh, at the top of the next point. Oh, here. Oh, I'm going to skip this one and I'm going to this one. Oh, enter here at the top of the point. Enter here at the top of the point. Make here a very low point. Oh, I walked a point. Now I go inside the space with needle. I pull the thread. And I make a very low point. I walked, trust oil, and it doesn't even appear. I brought it in here. I make 3 chains, 12 and 3, which is equivalent to a high point. And within that space, I'm going to do more. Highs, 1 and 2. I made my first block with high points. I'm going to make a separation chain, and in this same space here, I'm going to make another block with 3 high points. Oh, a 2. I didn't get all the fibers, 2 and 3, I did. Adding and maintaining the high points ensures consistency. The 2 blocks, I make a chain and I'm going to skip these high points. Oh, and I'm going straight to the chain space. So I skip the 3 high points and go right here. And make again blocks with 3 high points, 1, 1, 2 and 3. Maintaining structure, it becomes uniform. A chain, and I'll do it again in the same space, another block with 31, 2 and 3. I'll make a separation chain. Look, it's already shaping our square here. I'm going to skip this block with 3 high points and go here in the space of the current O and make a block with 3 high points. 1, 1, 2 and 31 chain, and again in the same space another block with 3 high points. Always in the corners of the square, I'll make 2 blocks together, ensuring the shape. Corners are all similar, making them all with 2. Oh, I made the 2 blocks with 3. I make a chain and I go to the next one. Here I have my other space. I'm also going to make 2 blocks with 3 high points. Oh, 12 and 3, make a chain. And here again, 3 high points, 1. 2 and 3, I make a separation chain and I will close the career. And look, you're already well informed. The square here, it's time for you to use your creativity. Make colorful, can make each little piece of a color. You can use leftovers of yarn and make well colored. It's gonna look really nice too, okay? So you're closing up here. At the top of the 3rd chain, oh, enter here at the top of the 3rd chain and close with a very low point here. Oh, if you are going to change color, you can cut the thread here and tie it here in the next chain space, okay? If you are not going to change color, as is my case, I will weave it whole in one color only. I'm gonna walk with that wire. So I come in here, oh, at the next top of the stitch with the needle, I pull the thread and make a very low stitch, and now I go here in space. I enter with the needle and close with a very low stitch, and I walked, oh, I took it, it's imperceptible. and I took it here to the next space. I make 3 chains that will equal me a high point, and I will do it. Oh, I'm in a corner of the square, so I'm going to make 2 blocks with 3 high points. Oh, so this one is already worth a high point. I'm going to make another 3 high points, a chain, and here another 3 high points. Oh, a 2 and 3. Oh, I made the corner of the square here, right? I make a little chain, and now I have a little space on the side. The little space on the side is always just a little block, okay? With 3 high points, 0, 12, and 3. I make a chain and go there to the next chain space. Here coincided, that is AA corner of the square, so I'm going to do it. 2 blocks with 3 high points. Oh, I already made 2 and 3. I make a chain, and I will make another block here in this same space. 2 and 3, I'm going to make a little chain, and I realize that each row will increase the spaces. Oh, in the row below, it was an O. Now there are 2, and each carrier is increasing, increasing, increasing. This is the increases that make your square increase, grow, okay? Oh, now here I made the separation chain. I go to the next space and do only 3, because on the side is just a block. With a normal 3, it's 12 and 3. I make a chain and go to the next chain space here in the square. So I'm going to make 2 blocks, 2 and 31 chain, and I'm going to make 3 more in the same space, 12 and 3. A separation chain. Don't forget the separation chain, and I'll move on to the next space. This is the side of the square, so it's just a little block with 3 high points, 12 and 3. I'll make a little chain and go here to the corner of the square. Inside the space of the chain, I'm going to make 2, because here in the 2 all row, 2 blocks with 3 high points. Oh, 3 high points, a chain, and 3 more high points, a 231 chain. And I go here to the little space on the side and make 3 high stitches, a 2 and a 3. I make a separation chain, and I will close the row here at the top of the 3rd chain. Oh, I enter with the needle, I pull the thread, I make a very low stitch. And I'm going to walk, oh, I enter the next top of the point, I just step needle here, I go to the chain space, very low point. I walked with a wire, and look, the square is already increasing, so I'm going to do more of this career with you. Oh, 3 chains that equals a high point and more highs. I'm on a corner of the square. I'm going to make 2 little blocks. With 3 high points, oh, 3 high points, a chain, and another 3 high points. 12 and 31 chain, take the refill here. Oh, now I'm on the side of the square, so here only 3 high points. Oh, 12 and 3. A separation chain. I'm going to the next chain space. As it is there on the side, still only a block with 3. Oops, 3 high points. Oh, 12 and 31. Chain and arrived at the next corner of the square. I make 2 blocks with 3 high points, a 2. 31 chain and 3 more high points, a 2 and 31 chain. I go here to the side to the next space and do only as it is lateral, only 3 high points, 3 chains. Three high points, 1 chain. I'm going to the next space, 3 high points, only a 2 and 31 chain, and I go here, to the next china of the square, and I make 2 blocks with 3 high points, a 2. And 31 chain of separation, and another block with 3. Oops, a 2 and 31 chain, and I'm going to the next space. As it is lateral, only a little block with 3. Two and 31 chain. I'm going to the next chain space. As it is still lateral, only a block with 3 high points, 2 and 31 chain, and I'm going here to the next space. Since it is the corner of the square, I will make 2 blocks with 3 high points, or 2. Not forgetting always to make the chain of separation between one block and another, one contained. I go here to the next space, as there is only 1 chain block on the side. $231 chain, and close the row here at the top of the point of the chain. Close with a very low point and walk there with the thread at the top of the next one in the space, and I can already make the 3 chains and continue weaving normally, and so we'll grow the square. You will do until you reach 50 centimeters. Here he still gave 8 centimeters by 8 centimeters, okay? So I'm going down like this until he grows and is 50 centimeters by 50 centimeters, okay? You're going to make 2 of these 2 exactly the same. They're exactly the same. So regardless of size, that you will always do, which starts like this, in the same way that I explained, and weave until you reach your measurements, then 2 exactly the same. So when I finish weaving the 2, I will return, show you, pass the amount of careers very neatly, and we will move on to the next steps, which is just the sewing, and the blouse will be ready. I came back here with my 2 woven squares. Look at that. It reached 50 centimeters. Here's proof. I made 2 identical pieces. Check with the tape to see the 50 centimeters. 50 centimeters. I'll stretch it a little bit and it'll work. 50 centimeters, yeah. So he gave it to me. I did it for 20 and 23 careers, okay? So I told it from here. We made the first one. It's 12, 34, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 171, 8, 19, 20. It measures 21, 22, and 23, 23 rows, giving 50 centimeters by 50 centimeters. Now I'll show you the reverse side. Of the play, and we'll hide the wires. I'm going to take here a thinner crochet needle. Let me just show it here. I took this one a little thinner to make it easier, so I was already passing. When I was making the first stitches here in the square, I was already bringing him and walking a little with him, so he's already a little finished. Now I'm going to show you how I'm going to hide this wire here, okay? I'll walk him inside. Some more signature crochet needle. If you want to make it longer, you can put it on the upholstery needle and passing between the stitches. Okay, I'm going to take here, some stitch loops. And I'm going to pull it. I only went through the back straps. Okay, I didn't go, it's going to the other side. It's just here at the back on the strap behind the point. Pull here and I can walk up here with it, okay? I don't just need to walk around here. I can go upstairs, then you take it wherever you want the point here to hide. So I've already made 2 turns here for myself. It's good because I'd already gone inside. So I'm going to cut this end here. And here it is. I'll do the same in the other one. Here in my other square, I'm going to do the same thing. I took some straps just behind the wire, and I'm going to pull this wire. Going through the inside. I went through the inside. I'm going to pass one more here, and I can cut it now, because I too have been walking with this thread for a while here. And now I can cut it. I give it a little pull and cut it close. Just be careful not to cut the stitch when you're going to cut it very close. So it's finished here. There's no longer the thread from the beginning, and this is the inside outside, the inside out. I'm going to leave it out now. I have the right side. Let's make it very tight to sew. I'm going to move it away here so you can see. To sew, I'm going to leave right up the first square, right up the second square. You're going to be upside down on him, okay? I'm just going to take off my bracelets here that are hitting the table and making noise during the video. But then you will leave the inside out, because then it's time to sew. If I take the 2 equal parts, inside out and inside out, if I open up here, right, the seam will work just fine. So you're going to put it here. Little tip with little tip. And I didn't finish the thread here where I started and here where I finished the O's. Where I finished weaving that I didn't finish, I'm going to do the same thing I did now. I'm going to leave it down here. I'm going to start on this other side here. I'm going to sew. You will now measure how much you want to sew. I already measured it on my body. Put it there, put it in front of me. Went in front of the mirror and saw that I just need to sew a little bit to keep this collar hanging down here. Wide open and falling, yes. Okay, so I'm more or less here. 123 is 3 little parts here of the square. 123. Then I put here a little hole. For a little hole, the same I'm going to do on this side. So for that, you'll need the marker just for you to mark where you're going to sew 123. So in this little space here, I put a needle, so I'm going to sew. And all this will be open here, okay? So I tested it again on my body, put it on. Now I just put this part inside my neck to see. And I think I can close it a little more, so you can do the test there, okay? To be very perfect, I will leave one more block of O. I got 4, now O, 123 and 4. 123 and 4, okay? I decided to change because I went and dressed and thought it would be better to close a little more. So you keep doing this until you find the right way. 123 and 4. And now I can sew. To sew, I'm going to take the same needle I was weaving, and I'm going to tie the thread here. No. At this point here, let me get a little closer. I think with a lot now, so I'm right on the tip. And at this point here, oh, well, in the third, here is the corner of the square. Oh, well, here, oh, the corner of the square. Well, here, oh, point boot, oh, I'll insert needle. And I'm gonna pull the wire and I'm gonna tie him up here. So you put the wire in the way you're used to, okay? It doesn't have to be like this. I'll tie it here to a point. So I'm with my inside out to make the seam. I give you 2 little knots and then I tie this thread. So I'm going to put needle here again on this first stitch after I tie the thread and go over there. Oh, on the first stitch. This one here is the corner, is this little block here. Oh, I put it here at the first point and I'm going to take the thread here that I tied myself. I'm going to pull it, go through the 2 and make a chain. I go to the next point here. Oh, I go in with the needle and I go there to the other point of the back row. Oh. Step. Oh, take the 2 loops at the top of the stitch, the 2 straps, pull the thread and make a very low stitch. I go to the 3rd point here of the block and the 3rd there on the other side. Oh, I take the 2 straps, pull the wire and fasten with a very low point here. I'm going to take the space even once, pull the wire, very low point. Then the seam is getting like this. Oh, you can let it make low point or very low point here. Don't let it too tight. I put it back in that space. Let's see. I don't think once is enough. I go to the first point here of this little block. I get right at the top of it, right at the top. I get the 2 straps. I go there at the back, right at the top. I pull the string and I do it. I go in the next O. I go in, I take the 2 straps, and here the 2 straps I pull black film. I go in the last of the block. Oh, I teach needle on the last sweet side. I just take care not to get crooked. Learn right now is the space. Oh, I enter with needle, step point, very low, first point of this block, and the first of this here. Back here, you keep doing this until you get to your appointment there, okay? In my case there, until the marker I arrived in space, very low point. And I'm on the last block here. It's going to be sewn on this side of the shoulder. Last one is the little chain space that goes in here, very low point, and I can already cut the wire. I did the last one, then I'll do the final one. Oops. These wires here that I pull here. And I give that little knot, and here, oh, it's already sewn. So the seam was like this. Oh, inside out, right side. It went like this. Oh, well, pretty straight, okay? Now I'm going to do the same on the other side. If you want to tie the string and start here, you can go over there, or you can turn the other way around here. Oh, on the other side, tie the thread here and do the same way. And it was sewn on the other side. I'm going to sew here. When I'm done, I'll come back. So I've already sewn the shoulders. Oh, the 2 are sewn. Now I have to sew the space on the sleeve. Now the side of it. So the shoulder is sewn up here, and I'm going to leave it here. Part of the sleeve to sew the side. So here I had previously left at the beginning of the video, suggestions for hollow here, to leave for the sleeve here from the shoulder seam, this much here. So for size P from 19 to 20 mm, from 21 to 22, e.g. from 23 to 24. Okay, but this is a suggestion. Then you can take your own measurements. I'm going to take it here. I'm going to measure mine, and I'm going to leave about 20 centimeters. So I put it here in the seam, sore throat, and go down 20 centimeters. It'll do right here. I'll get the marker, understand here. So I put the marker here, my sleeve space will be this one here. Oh, it will be about 20 centimeters. Oh, I'm going to count here. How many squares were 12, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 9 in the 9 space? So I'll go over there. I'll take the marker here. I'll go over here and I'll count 9, 0, 11. 23, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So here I put the marker 1, 12, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I'll check that side, see if it's about 8 inches. The S20 minutes of the marker was very accurate. And I'm going to sew now. I'm going to leave this one unsewn. I'm going to turn it on its side here. Oh, to make it easier for me. And I'm going to sew here. Oh, the bottom part. So down here until I get here on the marker. Okay? I'm going to sew the side of the blouse now. So the seam that will be made here on the side will be exactly the same as that was made there on the shoulder. So here, oh, it's here in the square. Oh, I have kinda. I'm going to take from this point here what belongs to the side, the last insert in the two. In the two parts here of the point, I pull the thread and tie it, okay? I do it like this, then I finish all the yarn here, 2 knots, and I'm going to do my posture. As I was doing, there in the O, insert the thread here. O at the top of the point and at the top of the third point. O here is here in the square, in this here. O third, which belongs to the side. Take the 2 straps, take the thread that comes from the ball. This little point that I tied later, I will hide it. I pull the thread O and make a chain. And then the next one. Then I insert in the next point, O in the 2 straps from the top of the point, and I go to the next one. There on the other side, in the second point, oh, I take the 2 straps, pull the wire, and make a very low point. I go to the next one. Let me see if it's better to visualize. I go to the next one, oh, which is the third of the block. Oh, I don't leave it too wide. You gave me too tight here. The point is, I take the 2 straps, I go to the back and take the 2 straps. Let me just see if I did it right here. No, look, I've already caught it twice in the same spot. First I'll do it back. Second, I got it here. The second point here, now it will work. Third, I take the 2 straps, I go to the third, I take the 2 straps, I pull the string like very low. I go into the space of the square, I enter with wire space, very low point at the top. From the first, in, top of the first point from the other side. So you keep doing this until you reach your mark there as you left it. Okay? I'm gonna finish up here. So there's no secret. This seam is pretty easy. If you want to do it with an upholstery needle, you can too, okay? Then it is at your discretion you're sewing. Oh, step 2. Step very low point, and so I walk. Oh, I left it well aligned until I get here. Oh, on the marker, okay. I left 20 centimeters up here. just get here. When I get here, I will come back and show you how the seam turned out. I finished the seam here. Oh, on the side, look how it stayed until the marker. So here was the sleeve in the sleeve space and the side seam. Now we just need to unite. This other side here, let me show you. Here I have the marker here, and I'm now going to sew this side here. The same way I sewed the other side. So when I finish the sewing, I'll come back, show you how to do the finishing. Well, I think I'll show you the finish now, and then I'll just show you how the posture turned out. So I'm going to show here, the finish of one of the wires here that I have. Okay? So I take the needle of a crochet even, a little more from above, and I go through, insert the needle here in the seam itself. Pull the thread, in the seam itself here. I go pull and I go through. There is no thread, and it does not appear that it was passed here inside. I take it here, and I walk with. I'm in until I finish the thread, or until I think it's good. So here I've already spent a bit, and I can now cut. If you want, you can spend it all. So here I have already finished the film. There is no thread. I can even take off the marker because the sleeve is already sewn. The space of the sleeve. And here it is lateral, already with the finish. So you will do it this way. Take all the threads you find there and go through, here the seam. I take it at the beginning here and go inside. So this side here will be finished. Everything will be fine. There will be no wire left. And if it's short, I'll go all the way there. I'll go inside. Since he's coming down, I'll cut right here. So here the bottom part, it's finished. There's no wire here. I don't have any wire, and it's all finished on this side. Then I'll do it with all the wires that find me here. At start and end of sewing, iron everything, check and finish like this. When done, I'll show the blouse. Simple, easy, fast to make.